What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Tackling Topics with the Loud Proud American. My name is Keith Liberty. 2 years ago, I launched my own brand, my own made in USA apparel brand, and here I am, still in that bootstrap phase, trying to lace them up, get them up, and launch my brand. This is a brand builder series for us where we talk about those challenges, those things, those tips, tricks, techniques, share some ideas, some inspiration, whatever it takes. So, on video 2 of Tackling Topics, we're going to continue that sales topic because, to me, that's the most important thing. That's the bloodline, that's the fuel line to you and your brand and your success. If you ain't selling your shit, you ain't paying to buy more shit, and, pretty soon you'd be left with no shit. Now, as I mentioned, my brand is pretty brand new, and we're just getting things going. I've been in business for 2 years. The first year was COVID. I didn't really get to get out there and do what I wanted to do. I didn't get to follow the plan that I wanted for myself and my brand. But in 2021, I was able to start getting it done. So real quickly, I'm going to give you some insight, some story, some history on what I did in my first real year of being on the streets selling my product. I compare it to all those dudes that back in the day had all the bootleg CDs and tapes and stuff. You know what I mean? Pop in their trunk and be like, hey, you want to hear something? Check out my new track. I'm not quite selling CDs out of my trunk, but I mean, that's what it feels like. I don't know. I got confused there. First thing I did, start of the year, and it's the first thing that I did to start this year, is to get out your book and start making that game plan. Start writing up the playbook, getting that schedule planned out for yourself. Who, what, where, when. You know what I'm saying? We're thinking about who can I reach out to, what kind of events can I get involved in, when can I do them, where are they, does it fit into my schedule, does it fit into my plan, does it fit my brand? That is the first thing you need to do every year. Make that game plan, book that playbook, right? So for me, in 2021, when I tapped into those resources, those connections that we talked about, for me, the first one is actually a biker saloon. It fits perfect with my niche market, and they're great personal friends of mine. Great relationship, great connection, great audience, great market, great customer base. I fill my schedule with as much stuff as I possibly can there. Also, for me, the location is prime. It's perfect. It's only a couple miles down the street from my house. Makes things super easy. So what I did, I went ahead and purchased myself a 10x10 canopy from a company called Extreme Canopy out in California. It is a phenomenal tent. Super high quality tent. Beautiful looking tent. It's pricey, but if you're going to be traveling around selling in parking lots and fields, you need something, A, that's going to look great, right? It's going to grab people's attention, and B, it needs to be durable. You're setting that thing up in all elements. You don't know what you're dealing with. You're tearing it down and you're bringing it all around and setting it back up. So it needs to be a super high quality product. For me, Extreme Canopy, that is who I recommend. It's the best. Actually, to get sidetracked, to continue on that, at the end of the year, I wanted to expand my tent a little bit. So I have a 10x10 from Extreme Canopy. I went ahead and purchased another tent to add to the back of it that wasn't, as costly as that canopy. And I ran it for 2 events, I want to say, and it worked and it helped, but you could legitimately feel and see the difference. Like, just the wind protection, like the heat and the sun. I'm baking in the cheap tent. I'm way colder when it's actually like cold and windy out. I know that's kind of weird, but there's something to do with the ventilation of it. The lighting inside there just looks kind of funky too, because the quality of the canvas wasn't as thick. So I didn't mean to go off on a power spiel here and vouch for Extreme Canopy, but I guess I just did. Extreme Canopy, I'm actually going to buy another one to get ready for this year. So if you guys out there are vendors like me that are trying to sell on the streets, and you're looking for a high quality product that's going to showcase your brand, I'm just going to give you that recommendation right now. So as I said, Bentley Saloon, super known biker bar, biker destination, campground destination in my state, the state of Maine, right down the street. Great connection, great relationship. First thing I do, easiest thing I do, let's look at my schedule, their schedule, backfill it, and fill my calendar. So for me, it hits on a few key things. Number one, I'm going to do Memorial weekend. At the end of the year, I do Labor Day weekend. I do 4th of July weekend there, and Bike Week. Bike Week's a massive one. First year in business for me, as far as being on the road, hitting the streets, being a freak in the sheets, I booked those 4 with Bentleys, and then I started to backfill and figure out, A, what's my customer base? How can I relate to them? How can I connect to them? How can I expose myself to them? And not in a creepy, exposing way. Like, I mean, I know you guys can't see from here down, but I'm not exposing myself. That's awkward. I didn't mean this to go that way. But you kind of get what I'm saying. I think this is important at this point for you to think about who is your customer base, what is your market. So for me, I have a made in USA apparel company, and I'm trying to connect with what my customer base is. I'm a redneck, okay? So all things, anything redneck related, it's probably going to relate to me and my customer base. I'm not calling all my customers rednecks, but I'm just saying that's my passion. That's what I'm into. That's what my brand connects to. So why not fucking play the hand that you were given, right? Why not just take the easy path, the path of least resistance? Vive la resistance, right? I mean, it just makes sense. So also, if I'm going to these events that I'm excited to be at, just as a person, as a fan of, then I'm going to be excited when you come into my booth. So I feel like you're doubling down on the energy there. You're excited to be at that event, and you're excited that it's your shit you're selling at your event. Obviously, you should be excited about your product. So when you can add those two together, that's a beautiful recipe. Ooh, I love your event. Oh, your merchandise is so nice. I don't even... Anyways, that was weird. But my fingers just ended up there. So, I mean, it was like, smooch. And I should have left it at the first. Smooch. Smooch. Should have left it there. I don't know why I continue to go there. But that's it. You need to be excited. If I'm excited about the event, I'm getting jacked up about the event. And then you add in the fact that I'm bringing my brand. I'm launching my brand. I'm meeting people. I'm shaking hands. And I'm selling stuff. And I'm loving each other. Then that emotion just starts getting going. Tip for you. Trick for you. Insight for you. All the people that have ever worked with me, when I coached you on sales and talked to you about sales, I said one thing to you. Sales is the transfer of enthusiasm. That's it. Sales, fundamentally, it is the transfer of enthusiasm. If you ain't excited, why the fuck should I be excited? If you ain't excited about selling me something, showing me something, introducing me to something, then I'm not going to buy from you, right? If you put your life savings on the line, if you're starting your brand, if you came out with your apparel brand, if you have that new product, that new idea, that dream, that hope, that desire, if you ain't excited about it, who the fuck else is going to be excited about it? Sales is a transfer of enthusiasm. Get excited. I mean, excited is really one word. I didn't mean to drag it out to be two, but can you guys tell I get excited about sales and I get really excited about my brand? If I walked into your tent and you're sitting back there dicking off on Tickety Talk, on YouTube, on the Graham Cracker, Instagram, on the book page, the old book face, Facebook, whatever the hell it is you're doing, if it's crosswords, I don't care. If you're not looking at me, you're not excited to talk to me, to see me, to meet me, I ain't going to give you my money. Think about that. Now, back to the playbook. When I'm filling up that schedule, I'm trying to find ways to connect, to reach my captive, like-minded customer base, right? I'm thinking all things redneck related, all things I'm passionate about. I happen to also be a horse owner. My wife grew up around horses. A few years ago, we got our own horse, and she actually does some barrel racing. You guys ever seen that? Cloverleaf. Here she comes out. Around here. Show back. Pretty cool, super awesome stuff, right? I've got super excited about barrel racing, and I started watching it all the time. It's introduced me to rodeos. I went to some PBR events and just got really excited about that. So I'm always finding myself watching rodeos, professional rodeos, and barrel racing and all these things. So with my wife getting back into horse racing, me being at some of these events, I said, hey, what can I do to be involved here? So at that point, I started to announce barrel racing for the National Barrel Horse Association, and there's a chapter in Maine that hired me, and I think I announced about a half a dozen shows this year, which was great for me. You get a little side income from announcing the shows as well, and it's also putting you out there to a whole new customer base for me, and it's a customer base that we are very like-minded. We're both horse owners, okay? And we can relate to each other, we can connect to each other. At their bigger events, what I did was set up my tent at those big events. And if I wasn't announcing, then me and the wife were in there selling merchandise. If I was happened to be announcing, my wife's out there selling merchandise. So it was a great connection for me. Number one, even if I wasn't selling, it was super awesome marketing for me. Part of the deal was my business logo ended up on the top of the barrels in the arena. So if you're there as a fan and you're watching your family member, your wife, your mother, sister, girlfriend, I don't know, whoever, right? Riding the horse, and then they go around the barrel and like, oh, sweet, and take a photo. When you look at that photo later, here's my logo. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of a cross-brand, cross-promotion marketing thing that even when my merchandise isn't there, I'm there and I'm selling to you, okay? And then when I'm actually in the booth and I'm announcing and promoting and doing those things and getting to advertise for myself, it just helps. So when you get to one of those big events and I can unroll all my stuff, you come over and buy it from me. So that gave me 3 actual horse racing events where I was allowed to sell my merchandise at. A super great, awesome, loyal, like-minded customer base that I was able to build by just doing things that I'm passionate about. So think about that for yourself. What can you involve yourself in? Maybe you volunteer yourself to something, but it opens a door for you to something you never thought possible. Think about that. That whole opportunity for me started because my wife recommended to the president for our local chapter that, hey, you should give my husband a shot at emceeing because they needed somebody. And I emceed all winter when they did an indoor series when my business was slow. Things were slow for me. And I did them all for free. I think I did a half a dozen shows for absolutely nothing. And it was just me getting myself out there. I was gaining the experience as well and seeing if it was a good fit. But those offers don't come in unless I volunteer myself and my time. So think about that. How does that relate to you? What can you do? What skill set do you have? What ability do you have that you can lend to somebody to open the door for you to meet so many other people? Think about that. So I was in that bar scene, right? Biker bar. And I went into the horse racing game. And then the next thing for me is, what else can I relate to? Fairs. I love going to the fair. Who doesn't, right? I make bad decisions at the fair, but I love it, okay? And I told you, anything redneck, I'm probably involved in. And fairs are redneck. Am I right? So it was perfect. I did my first fair, started out at a fair, kind of a smaller one, but it was that fun family one that I grew up going to, right? I started there, and then at the end of the year, I brought myself to the biggest fair in the state. The next question is, how do I do that? How do I handle that schedule? How do I get my apparel back and forth, set up, sleep, stay there, travel, whatever, because I'm kind of all over the state. For me, that answer was easy. I bought an ambulance. I know. It's awesome. Well, I mean, it was awesome for me. I don't know if you guys think it is too. And don't get really excited. It's not like a super nice, new, fancy one. No, it's an old, crusty one. But I don't think a lot of people died in it because it actually came from a local university that was using it for marine rescue. And then my friend actually had it at his nursery. Not the baby nursery, but like the trees, okay? And he was going to use it around the farm and water truck, whatever. Got tired of it, and I bought it. 1994 Wham-bulance, or Glambulance, or the Loud Proud American Express. Yeehaw! Copy that, you barrel of shit pile of monkey nuts. Shh. Rubber ducky, this is the Loud Proud American Express, over. Is my ambulance sitting on blocks of wood? Maybe. That don't mean I can't have a little fun. Hey, whoa, hey. Fucking busy here. Whatever. I bought this ambulance, and it was a team effort, okay? I put some new tires on her, had to buy some parts for her. I actually went to Tractor Supply, got some cans of paint and a roller, paintbrush, did that sucker up. She's a real 30-foot paint job, okay? If you guys don't know what that is, that means from 30 feet, she looks really nice, okay? You get closer, you see some blemishes, but we all have blemishes. That's why I'm not so close to the camera, because I'm sure I have plenty of blemishes. It gives me the opportunity to load her all the way up with my gear, head out to my event, pull everything out, set everything up. See what I'm doing here? And when that's all said and done, take my totes, my air mattress, sheet of plywood, make myself a little mattress area back there. So now I have a bedroom, and me and the wife will stay there when we're on the road. So I don't have to get out there and find hotel rooms and stuff. A lot of times, these places you're going to, you're actually in like this big fields and parking lots, and you can just rent camping space. So I live in it, I travel in it, I pull my stuff out of it, sell out of it, sleep in it, That's my deal. I took the old 1994 Loud Proud American Express glambulance, wambulance all over the state of Maine last year. I had up a handful of events at a biker saloon, a couple of fairs, some horse racing, actually a PRCA Pro Rodeo, which is right in my wheelhouse. All things that scream me, this guy. That's how I made my first real year of business an actual success for me and my family and my brand. I hope you guys learned something from that. I hope it has you guys thinking, who do I know? What do I know? How can I do it? You know what I'm saying? Who do I know that provides a market for me? Who do I know that provides a customer base for me? What do I know that I could lend myself to help somebody else that could introduce me to the people I need to meet? And don't forget, sales, that's a transfer of enthusiasm. You best be excited about selling.